energy forecast for Wednesday, May 10th. So we have the moon moving out of this Capricorn energy and moving into Aquarius energy. We will see the moon go void, of course, at 7:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll lock into that Aquarian energy at 10:07 p.m. So anytime we're moving out of the Capricorn energy into Aquarian energy, things get lighter, things get brighter. We are weighted down because of the earth energy of Capricorn. We are kind of getting a reality check because, of course, Saturn rules this Capricorn energy. And we have a lot of tasks, a lot of chores, a lot of things on our to-do list, high levels of responsibility, and therefore we get illuminated to what is holding us back, what is restricting us, what is sucking the life force energy out of us. In Aquarian energy, we kind of act as the observer, we detach emotionally, and we're able to see the constructs, the tasks, the chores, the responsibilities, the obligations that are sucking the life out of us. We see them as restrictions, as blockages, and we're able to actually kind of progress through coming up with alternatives in order to free us, liberate us from those heavier thoughts, heavier emotions, heavier energies that our physical realm naturally puts on us. Saturn does rule over the Aquarian energy as well, but we're able to kind of fly a little bit higher because of that air energy that Aquarian sits in versus the earth energy that the Capricorn energy sits in. So there is still a lot of internalized processing going on, especially where examining the routines, the structures, the foundations of our lives are concerned, and trying to figure out where it is that we can kind of lighten the mood, lighten the vibe, disconnect with some of those heavier tasks and chores, and definitely detach from the heavier emotions that the moon in Capricorn normally kind of triggers and activates within us. So there are 8 different aspects here today. All 8 of them involve the moon, which means that this is a moon day. Now, Wednesdays are ruled over by Mercury, the ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information and communication, and Mercury is currently retrograde. So we are definitely going to see, again, an attempt, because we're in May, the vibration of 5, we're in the year of 7, the vibration of Venus. We are going to attempt to get our heart and our head on the same page. Should be a very interesting day for that, seeing as there are some potent energies, there's some positive energies, but there's definitely a lot of friction as well. Right out of the gate, we have the moon in Capricorn squaring, getting into the boxing ring, creating a conflict, a tension within us with Chiron, that wounded healer who's in this Aries energy. So we are definitely recognizing where it is that some of the roles and responsibilities, the commitments that we've made, the obligations that we have, definitely holding us back from freeing ourselves, not only from these tasks and chores, but freeing ourselves from the soul contracts, from the timelines that our old version of self have created. And therefore, this Chiron energy, the wounded healer, if you will, in this Aries energy, we've been working on the new version of ourselves, rebranding ourselves, this new identity that we're looking to actually lock in. Well, we're recognizing now, because again, the Capricorn energy tends to align with the old, tends to align with what is traditional, what is old, tried, tested, and true. We're recognizing right now that if we continue to do the same old, we're not giving ourselves the space nor the grace to actually evolve into something different, into something better. And so there is this, I'm going to say, grudge. There's this resistance. There's this bubbling anger that kind of gets triggered and activated within us from having to continue to rise up and do what it is that we are expected to do the things that we've always done. It's very hard to break free emotionally, mentally, and now physically from the realm, the circumstances in which we've created. The moon will then go ahead and trine, which is a beautiful energy, with Uranus, who is in this Taurus energy, giving us some earth-on-earth action here. Now, very shortly after, we're going to trine the sun as well. And as you may remember here yesterday, we have the Sun and Uranus come together for that annular conjunction, if you will, breathing new life force energy in us, kind of shaking things up, waking us up to new opportunities, to new directions, paths, and changes in our lives. Well, now the moon in Capricorn is going to have its time to kind of interact with Uranus and understand where it is that, yes, we have been doing things due to the old tried, tested, true methods, but Uranus is here, the great awakener, to shake us up, to show us where in our physical realms, because it's in Taurus energy, where the routines of what it is that we do, the relationships that we engage in, what we do for work or what we do to create money and resources, where some of that needs to change. And again, kind of having the disposition that we're currently at, going from the Capricorn energy into the Aquarian energy, we're recognizing where it is that we're too fixated on doing things the same old, same old. And there is this burst of energy. There is this light shining between Uranus and the Sun, showing us what it is that we have to change in our physical realms, where physical circumstances, obligations, and commitments are concerned, in order for us to not only spice things up so that we're not totally bored and dissatisfied and discontent with our lives, but also where it is that, changing things up will give us the space and the grace to actually anchor in this new identity, this new version of ourselves. The moon will then semi-square, creating a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a conflict with Saturn, its ruler. Saturn, of course, the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, structures, foundations. In this Piscean energy is dismantling our old belief system, our old ways of going about things, our old pain, our old trauma, and definitely getting rid of the delusions and coming a little bit more back down to earth, giving ourselves a reality check and seeing what actually needs to be built in our lives as far as routine, systems, foundations, and structures go, in order to actually have the foundation in place to build upon. Again, recognizing where new dreams, new visions, new goals are actually kind of being triggered and activated within us. But when we take a good look around it, the life that we've already built, it's not really in alignment, encouraging and supporting us to kind of pursue new paths of happiness, of passion, of desire, where these new dreams and visions are concerned. The moon in Capricorn is going to sit across from Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our action, our passion, our desire, in this Cancer energy, because of course Capricorn and Cancer energy sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. Both represent safety, security, stability, one in our private lives, one in our public lives, one with emotions, one with our finances. And Mars, as you know, has been stunted out in this Cancer energy for quite some time. This particular interaction is going to bring a lot of tension. It is going to bring a lot of friction. This is going to get us agitated and frustrated. We're going to be illuminated to our impatience. Again, Mars just wants to take action and move on, and we can't do that because we don't know where we're going or what we're doing. We can't sit in one energy long enough to identify what path we actually want to take. And it is in this moment, this tension point, where we feel like we got too much going on, where we're overwhelmed, we're a little bit verklempt. We don't even know what we should be doing right now, so the confusion sets in. And of course, the Cancer energy, highly emotional, super hypersensitive. We do have the ability to drown ourselves, not only in our emotions, not only in our thoughts, but in the responsibilities that we've taken on, especially committing to do certain things for other people. So the expectation of us kind of showing up when we can't even show up for ourselves, to show up and do what we promised to do for other people, is a little bit frustrating. The moon will then sextile, beautiful energy, with Neptune, who is in its place of power in Pisces energy. I love this interaction for a couple of reasons, but anytime that we have Pisces and Capricorn coming together in a positive interaction, it does highly suggest that we're able to give ourselves permission to kind of align with our higher selves, to tap into that imaginative energy, that creative energy. We're able to remind ourselves, refresh ourselves, renew ourselves in the vision, in the dream, in the goals that we have. And then that magical Capricorn energy, that is the manifesting energy of the zodiac, we're able to kind of sort through it in our emotional field. We're able to add structure and strategy to some of the moves that we'll have to make in order to prepare ourselves to bring said vision and dreams to life. But basically in the Capricorn energy, we're able to ground it out in our physical body, bring it to life in our physical body where our headspace and our heart space is concerned, really tapping into the higher levels of that vibration and frequency that allows us to have aha moments of inspiration, of clarity, where our dreams and our visions and our goals are actually concerned. We don't sit in that lovely energy for too long. The moon will go ahead and square off, get into the boxing ring with Jupiter. So Jupiter is about growth and expansion. He's about beliefs and abundance and blessings. And in this particular, I'm going to say, interaction, what we're kind of being faced with is the fact that the moon in Capricorn, very, very fixated on doing the same old, same old. There's a lot of predictability, a lot of comfort that we can pluck out of doing the same old thing. The problem is that doing the same old thing doesn't allow for the space for growth to actually take place. That's what Jupiter's all about. He wants to push us out of our comfort zones. He wants to push the boundaries of what's possible for us. He wants us to get out in the world. He wants us to create new opportunities for growth, for expansion, to really kind of anchor in this new belief system, not only within ourselves, but in what is possible here in the universe. And it's hard to do all that when the Capricorn energy is pumping its brakes, very resistant to change, very resistant for moving forward, and instead very comfortable with going in a circle, continuing to do what it is that we've already done and continuing to get what it is that we've already got, even though we want better for ourselves and we want to manifest a new circumstance. There is this very, I'm going to say, trap type of feeling of not being able to know how to break out of the same old routines, the same old circumstances, in order to actually have the space to try something new. So this is where the conflict is coming from. The last aspect that we're going to have here today is when the moon shifts into this Aquarian energy at 10:07 p.m., we will then see the moon in Aquarius make its very first aspect, which is coming up to, bumping into, sitting next to Pluto, who of course is retrograde in this Aquarian energy at the 0 degree. So, we just have the moon move into this Aquarian energy. Pluto's already there, already retrograde. And so what we get here, first of all, this can go a couple of ways. Pluto, he is the great transformer, and we transform ourselves by sitting in the darkness, sitting in the funk, recognizing our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, our pain, our trauma. And when we unearth those particular topics and themes and we actually dive into the psyche and figure out where these primary root causes come from, we're able to actually rewrite that program, rewrite that system. I go into depths about neuroplasticity and neurolinguistics in this week's Ascension forecast. So if that's something that you're interested in, please go ahead, listen to that, refresh yourself if you've already listened to it. But basically, the way that we transform is by recognizing where it is that we're stuck in our mental narrative, in our storylines, in our emotions, in our actions, and we actively pursue trying to change them up. Well, Pluto's whole deal, retrograde in Aquarius energy, is to move within the psyche and examine where it is that we have control issues, where it is that we're struggling to step into our power, where it is that we've given our power away to other people that have too much power, too much control in our lives time and time again, where it is that we have self-sabotaging behaviors, where it is that our fears, our doubts, our insecurities are preventing us from making better choices in life and actually pushing ourselves out in the world in a way that would kind of display that we're comfortable within our power. We feel comfortable in having control in our lives. And essentially where it is that we are now rising up to the roles and responsibilities of being writer, producer, director, starring role in our own lives instead of kind of delegating those particular roles to other people. So when it comes back to the moon being in Aquarius energy, first of all, the one thing that we love about the moon being in Aquarius is that we're able to emotionally detach. So we're not going to feel as connected to our emotions as we do in other signs. We are typically speaking in an observer type of mentality and state of being versus actually like absorbing and feeling the energies that we're in, which means that we're able to take a bird's eye view and kind of look down upon ourselves or look within ourselves and our psyche and kind of see where the problems are, where the blockages are, where the issues are, and we're able to override that. We want to be progressive in this Aquarian energy. We're here to free ourselves, liberate ourselves from the restricting confinements of our mind space. Now, it could feel very dark, could feel like you're slipping into the shadow realm of who it is that you are. That's what Pluto's whole point is. Or we could feel very, very empowered by realizing that we're peeling back the layers of our psyche, of our actions, of our behaviors, and we're realizing where it is that we've been on autopilot, letting our egoic programming kind of rule the roost here and lead us into decisions and choices and life paths that aren't necessarily to our soul's highest potential. And so what we can get here is a profound insight on where it is that we have to change things up, do things a little bit differently. Or we could just be sucked into the darkness and have to sit in that funk. Either way, we are going to be sorting out some inner workings of our mind space, of our emotions, of the details of our lives in order to lighten the vibe, put us in a different perspective, to understand ourselves from a very, very interesting and profound kind of way.